Honorable Governor, welcome to Asianet News.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It is our 75th year of independence, but right now we are seeing students on the streets protesting, demanding the right to wear a piece of dress. How do you view that?
Well, as far as the question of students being on the street, that only shows that India is a truly democratic country and the largest democracy in the world. Everybody is free. You are free to express yourself. You are free to express whatever you feel are rightful demands. You are even free to make demands which are not fair. So it only speaks about the strength of Indian democracy.
So, hijab is not burqa and most Muslim women wear it. Do you think your comments earlier?
This is a problematic thing. Hijab is not burqa. Hijab is a term which has been used in Quran in 7 verses or on 7 occasions. Burqa is also a dress. So, at the time when the Muslim law started taking a definite shape, they have used hijab for all kind of dresses which are associated with women. And the truth is that Quran does not use it in the context of the dress of women. Quran uses the word khimar. Khimar, if you look at Lisanul Arab, that is the Arabic dictionary, then khimar has been defined or translated as a scarf, as a cloth which women carry with them. And what Quran says, and then again there is a context. The context is that in those times, almost every society was divided between 2 sections. One were free people, free men and free women, and the others were slave men and slave women. Most of the economies, if you study, most of the economies of those times were slave-driven economies. Now, there was a specific instance in Medina where a free woman, when she was going to market, some people tried to molest her. Naturally, it gave rise to some kind of fisticuff or the members of the family of that lady came there. These people who had tried to molest the women, that particular woman, they took the plea that they were under the impression that she is a slave woman. The morals of the times were such that they thought that it is okay if you misbehave with a slave woman. After this incident, and this is mentioned in all books, almost all commentators have mentioned this. After this particular incident, a verse was revealed in Quran which said that the khimar which you use, draw it over your jilbab. Although it has been translated that this cloth you draw over your bosoms, but jilbab does not mean even bosom, translation, literal. It means, jilbab means the loose men's upper garment is called kameez, and women's upper garment, because it used to be loose garment, curves of the body should not be noticed. So it has been said that pull your scarf over your qameez, jilbab, which has been taken to mean cover your bosoms. So Quran does not, and that too in a particular, this was after a particular incident. Today, world over, slavery does not exist. United Nations Declaration of Human Rights is there. We have our own fundamental rights. Every person, be a woman or a man, they are all free today. The context has disappeared. But never forget that Quran also talks about a tendency among the Arabs where they used to bury the girl child soon after the birth. Quran says, وَإِنَّ الْمَوْءُدَةٌ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ زَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ, which means that when God will ask this young child on the day of judgment, for what crime you were buried, God is asking, God knows everything. In order to highlight the seriousness of the crime, this is how it has been presented in Quran, that God will ask this young infant child who was buried, for what crime you were buried. So in a way, Quran put a stop, eradicated the practice from amongst the Arabs. But the mindsets are not going to change. The young infant girl being buried alive, that was given up. But then new terms were found. Hijab, I feel, is also one of them. Because nowhere in Quran, the word, 7 times I have told you, the word has been used. It has not been used in the context of the dress. What dress a woman should wear.
So do you think that the time has come for the women to throw away the hijab?
It is not a question of throw away. I believe in freedom. I believe in liberalism. I believe in openness. Every person has right to decide what she or he wants to wear, as long as it does not offend the public sensitivities. I am not for what one should throw, what one should wear. It is not for me to decide. It is not for you to decide. It is for the person to decide what she or he they want to wear.
So, there has been a rereading of Islam from the continuation of what you were saying to the earlier question's answer. There has been a rereading of Islam, of being in Islam, like certain traditions and customs are returned or reinvented, like the way hijab was reinvented in the recent years.
No, not in recent years. It was done. It started being introduced at the time when the followers of this young religion overtook both the existing empires in the neighborhood. There were 2 empires. The Roman Empire, which was known as Byzantine Empire, the Iranian Empire, which was known as Sassanid Empire. Barely 12 years after the death of the Holy Prophet, the Arabs took over both these empires. Now, keep in mind that Arabs considered themselves culturally, civilizationally inferior to both the Byzantines and the Iranians. They took over the empire. Now they became the conquerors. And the term which has been used in Quran, Ahle Kitab, particularly for the Jews and Christians, what does that denote? It denotes they are the people who have the knowledge, who have the learning, whereas we do not have. So the conquerors, because they had this thing in their mind, therefore although they had conquered them, they started imitating them in cultural matters. They started adopting the cultural values of the conquered people. And the Byzantines and the Sassanid both, if you read history, they used to take great pride in the fact, particularly the elite of that society, that our women do not step outside. Our women do not work. Our women live a comfortable, luxurious lives. They manage at the most with the help of the servants, they manage the home only. They used to take great pride in that. Justice Amir Ali, his book Spirit of Islam is considered a classic. He was judge of the Calcutta High Court, and all sects of Muslims, this book is universally acceptable as true representation of the Muslim history and Muslim religious, cultural, ethical values. Justice Sayyid Amir Ali in his book has written that although they had started imitating the cultural values of the Sassanids, Iranians, and the Byzantine Empire was Christian empire. They had started this, but Arab women were resisting because they were always their culture was different. They possibly, as far as physical labor is concerned, they did more than men. And even when the Arabs fought among themselves, both sides used to take their women with them, who will play music, who will sing very, very motivational songs. They even in the battlefield they used to be present. So they were resisting. But during the reign of Walid II, who was an Umayya empire, he was the kind of man who used to go to market only to spot beautiful girls, women. And from there he will pursue them up to their homes. So Justice Amir Ali says that it was because of Walid, they have already trained to imitate the Byzantines and the Sassanids. That had already started. But it became a necessity during the reign of Walid, who used to chase these women, harass them, and then will try to take them into his harem.
So you are saying the political narrative of Islam changed over
naturally. Everybody admits that. So that is the history. It has not happened recently. Like I will give you another. Before I come to the other point, I must also remind you that I have said earlier that they used to feel culturally and civilizationally. The Jews and Christians particularly, they thought they are more civilized, more cultured. And among Jews, even today, there is a sect who are called Orthodox Jews. The Orthodox Jews, for the Orthodox Jews, the hair of the women on her head, they are like her private parts. A Jewish, Orthodox Jewish woman will never display her hair. She always uses a cloth which looks like a turban. And in public, when she appears, like other parts of the body, which are considered private, her hair is also covered. So, and here this trend had started that they are culturally superior, therefore we must adopt their practices. That has also played a part in it.
So your statements based on your deeper understanding of the Holy Book is often criticized or opposed by Indian Union Muslim League and other Muslim organizations. Sir, how are they opposing this based on the same Quran you believe in?
I I shall be extremely thankful to them, and I do not know how to put it. If they quote one verse from the Quran, they only say we are saying on the basis of Quran, but they have never, I'm seeing this since 1986, since Shabano case. In fact, they had painted me so black in the early years that nobody was ready to listen to me. But when how things started changing, the Muslims started asking these people, they said, you say he speaks against Islam, but he is always quoting Quran, whereas you never quote Quran. So I do not want to indulge in this debate with the political parties. That is not my job. But one thing I can tell you, they only use the name of the Quran. They never quote from the Quran. If they quote it, I am not challenging them. I will go to them. I will say sorry for whatever I have spoken, and I will thank them for educating me.
So you mentioned earlier about turbans. So my question is, can a state prescribe some religious practices as essential or non-essential? If I'm not mistaken, you earlier pointed out that some essential religious practices like the turbans for Sikhs that can be allowed.
No,
so
this is not what I have said. What I have said is that we have a provision in our article which ensures freedom of conscience, which means freedom of faith, freedom of religion. Now, everything is included in religion. And you can claim anything that it is part of your faith. So, Supreme Court has already laid down the essential practices test where the protection of the state will be available. They will look into the matter, and if they find that something is essential, intrinsic, integral to the practice of the faith, then that, whether it is a custom, whether it is a ritual, whatever it is, it must receive state protection. Islam, don't go by my opinion, don't go by the opinion of the others. Islam itself has laid down what are the essential, intrinsic and integral principles or pillars of Islam. Number one is affirmation of faith, which is called Kalma-e-Shahadat, where you declare you believe in one God, you believe that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Second, offering prayers at regular intervals. Third, fasting for a month in 1 year. Fourth, charity. Although the general practice, in fact, people do not even know that Quran does not prescribe 2.5% out of your income. It is only the jurists who have decided this amount, that whatever you earn, whatever is your wealth, 2.5% must be spent on poor, on deprived, on widows, on orphans. What Quran says? Quran says, clearly Quran says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ. People ask you how much they should spend. Qulil afwa, say to them anything and everything which is beyond your own personal needs. Quran does not say 2.5%. It is only the jurists who have decided 2.5%. Quran to says that you should not acquire wealth. Whatever wealth you acquire, you spend on the poor. For that, they will not say that it is essential. Quran disapproves luxurious living. It says that, Quran does not say, the prophetic tradition says that whatever I am doing, I am working hard during the day. I earn some money. I buy food with that money. for my family and myself. But before partaking that food, if I do not ensure that nobody in the neighborhood of 40 houses is hungry, then partaking of that food which has been bought with hard-earned money becomes prohibited for me. They don't talk about it. They talk only about things which, if you ask me, are non-issues.
So coming to the uniform civil code, these protests and the way of dressing, uniform civil code, it's supposed to ensure women their rights. But will it ensure that kind of equality that we dream of? Because most of the people, most of the minorities have a sense of loss of identity, a sense of alienation. In India, it happened after Babri Masjid maybe. In the West, it happened after September 11. It aggravated. So, will UCC
You are mixing.
ensure?
You are mixing too many issues. Then the reply will become very big. So I will take uniform civil code. Uniform civil code. The purpose is not to obliterate anybody's identity. The purpose is not to create that. Uniform civil code cannot become basis of. That is the only instrument through which we can create unity. How does that happen? We have a uniform criminal law, or we don't have. We have uniform commercial laws. We have every law we have common. And if you come to civil code, even Indian civil code is common. Only a portion of it that deals with marriage, succession, inheritance, divorce, things like that, there the separate laws, only a part of the civil code. Now, I ask myself this question, that the Hindu code bill is not only applicable to Hindus, it is also applicable to Sikhs. Is it or not?
Yes.
Buddhist,
in the same way, the Islamic.
Buddhist,
Yes, exactly.
Jains,
Yes.
their identity has been obliterated?
No.
I ask you. Why? I mean, not just Buddhists and Sikhs and Jains, even among Hindus, the law has not been able to create unity of practice and ritual. The relations with which marriage is permissible, from Konkan down to deep south, if you tell, suppose you tell a Brahmin in Uttar Pradesh that marriage with mother's brother happens, then what the man in say in UP, the Brahmin in UP, what he will say?
Exactly the
He will say this is
The primary sin.
the definite path to hell.
Yes.
Even among the Hindus, it has not been able to create unity of custom and rituals. Then why anybody should be fearful?
So,
The purpose of uniform civil code is not to deal with the customs or the rituals of any community, that they are not going to be regulated. The purpose is to create uniform or similar rights and obligations which arise from marriage. That's all.
So it is
For
better-
instance, you have uniform civil code, but is uniform civil code going to ask a Muslim not to pay meher to his wife?
No, they can't.
Can't. Not possible, because these things you cannot regulate. Law is not able to, we only try to create a semblance of stability. Because as far as personal matters are concerned, for instance, I'll tell you, polygamy is not permissible under many laws, many countries. But the people have found a way out. These things are very difficult to, after all, our Supreme Court has also recognized the live-in relationship.
Yes.
And this man who has a live-in relationship, he may be having a wife earlier. these things are not regulated by law. The only thing which law can try to achieve is that the rights and obligations which arise from the fact of marriage, they should be uniform. Additionally, you want to do something, you want to pay. Today there is no uniform civil code. I ask you to conduct a survey, how many Muslim husbands pay meher to their wives? The first thing which they do, I do not know about the south so much, but north I know. In fact, it is why I should say that I know. Most of the cases of marital dispute among the Muslims, it is only after the divorce that the question of meher is disputed, the matter goes to the court. Why? If you go by the true spirit of religion, then meher must be paid before consummation of marriage. And not that people do not know about it. People know about it. They know that it is not permissible for me to touch her without paying meher. So what the Muslim bridegroom does normally, the first thing which he says to his wife, before touching her, he says, maaf kar do. And she is also ready to say, because she has knowingly married him. She knows that the practice is such. So instead of creating awareness about saying to the Muslim bridegrooms, Muslim men, that listen, the religion demands that you should pay the money to the woman before marriage is consummated.
Almost all functions of the central government have a Hindu ritual. We often see persons holding constitutional posts, flaunting saffron robes in public. We have a prime minister who is the master of ceremony, and when the Bhumi Puja is conducted in Ayodhya. So isn't the apprehension natural, sir?
What apprehension?
Apprehension that this would lead to curtailment.
I don't remember it, but I will read you. Verse from the Quran. The Quran in Surah Baqarah is talking about the episode which is mentioned in Bible also, about that golden calf. If you must have seen Bible. So the people, when Moses tells them to make some sacrifice, then they say that of what color it should be. Then according to Quran says that it should be of saffron color, the color which is most pleasing to eyes. For you, saffron has religious overtones. For me, saffron is a color which is pleasing to eyes. For me, as an Indian, saffron is the color of renunciation. Saffron is the, we are a strange people. We say we have this tricolor flag. The saffron part is Hindu, the white part are others, the green part are Muslims, without knowing anything about it. Saffron in Indian culture means renunciation. It means spirit of sacrifice. It means living for others, not for yourself. The white denotes peace. Green does not denote Muslims. Green denotes prosperity. And now you say that these functions start with the Hindu rituals. This thinking has been distorted as a result of the foreign rule under which we have lived for centuries. Indian religion, in fact, this term, we started using it in the sense of religion. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is way of life. There are people, or I shall put it differently. If you are a Hindu and you say that I do not believe in God, I do not accept any avatar, and I'm not just saying about you. There was a great philosopher, Charak Sanhita is there. He condemned everybody. He profaned everything which Indians held sacred. Is there any agency which can declare that if you say such things, that you don't believe in God, you don't believe in Avatar, you don't believe in this, you don't believe in Shiva, you don't believe in Rama, you don't believe in Krishna, is there any agency which can declare that you have become a non-Hindu? I'm asking you, tell me. If it were a religion, then there should have been such agency. There is no agency. If I'm born in a Muslim household, if I deny any of the basic pillars, which I have already described, although today, if I deny any of the basic pillars, then I will question myself whether I'm still a Muslim. If you don't believe in the divine nature of the Jesus, then you will ask yourself whether you are a Christian, whether you really continue to be a Christian. These are not comparable. The Semitic religions, or I would say the religions, they have set of beliefs. As far as the clergy in India is concerned, for them to declare somebody a kafir, even denial of the basic principles is not necessary. They can declare you kafir even without that. That's a different matter. But if it is a religion, then there must be an agency to see that basic beliefs are not denied. It is not religion. It is the way of life of India. What it says? It says, Bharateshu Striya Purusho Nana Varna Pirkirtite Nana Devarchane Yukta Nana Karmani Kurvate. The Indian women and Indian men, they belong to different races, they practice different rituals and customs. Not just that, they worship different gods.
Sir, but there are critics who say that you are eyeing a key post in Delhi and that's why you are narrating the Sangh Parivar agenda.
1986 when I resigned from the government, and I was the youngest minister. How many Sangh do not fight the election, but how many BJP MPs were there in the house?
Only two.
Only two. Then I was eyeing for a position, or I was giving up a position. But they have right to their opinion. They can say anything which they like. I am sitting here in Trivandrum. If any decisions are to be taken, they will be taken in Delhi. I hardly go to Delhi. So if I am eyeing something, I decided in 2007 that I don't want to be in active politics. Who does not know that 2014, so I could have joined the Union Cabinet. I did not. Everybody knows it. It's a public knowledge. So position, I became minister when I was just 25 years and few months old. These things do not really fascinate me. And even before that, before I became a minister in UP, I think I should not say with a sense of pride, no, I am saying it with a sense of humility. God was very kind. When I was Secretary of the Union, when I was President of the Aligarh Muslim University Students' Union, I think I was being recognized almost nationally. So these things, I have seen all these things from a very young age. How these things can fascinate me at this stage. Now though, I had gone to Prime Minister only to thank him, because this whole process of enacting the law after the Supreme Court judgment, Supreme Court had declared triple divorce as unconstitutional against the teachings of the Quran. Still triple divorce was happening. Why? Because in Supreme Court cannot prescribe how to deal with the offenders. That is for the Parliament. So finally, when one case happened in my old constituency, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister on which action was initiated. And finally, when it became law, I went to thank him. And that was only my third meeting with him. And he asked me, I had gone only to thank him, but he told me that now this issue is over. So now if some responsibility you are asked to take over, I smiled. And then he did not even tell me that he wants to send me to Kerala. If he had something in his mind, he would have shared it with me. No, he did not. Third day I came to know that I have been appointed. These things, but I should not go into detail. They are welcome to entertain anything about me. They have used everything in their vocabulary to condemn me, to criticize me. How can I help them?
Okay, sir. As the Chancellor of the University, so will you advise the University to adopt a position similar to?
It's not a question of advising anybody. Even in Karnataka, I have already told you, I am against, as far as the normal life is concerned, everyone must have the freedom to wear whatever she or he wants to wear. But when you join a profession, when you join an educational institution, then you sign certain documents and you give your consent to follow the discipline of the institution. Now, if you accept the logic which they are giving, now just imagine there is a young woman, Muslim IPS officer. Can she perform her duties with wearing veil? And if you accept the argument, it is intrinsic, it is essential, it is integral for the practice of Islam, she is not going to resign her job because she has children, she has family, she has to look after them, she has pursued her career. She won't resign, she will continue. She won't be able to wear hijab. What kind of psychological dilemma you are going to place her in? All her life she will have this feeling that because of my family, because of my children, I could not practice my religion. Jew and Muslim girls in the college wearing hijab for 6 years, 8 years, till they do PhD, till they do some professional course. When they come out, which companies will be ready to give them jobs? And if they are wearing for 8 years, 9 years, then they would also like to wear when they when they pursue some career. How many companies will be ready to offer them jobs? And how today we have this great feeling of pride when we see our young girls flying fighter jets. So you want to close all these doors to Muslim young girls?
So you have written to CM on several issues like the interference in universities. So
Yes.
I'm asking whether will you write?
I still say that any executive interference in the universities, institutions of higher learning, stings in the nostrils of all those who attach certain sanctity to academic excellence and research, and who believe that universities and colleges and classrooms, they are actually marketplace of ideas, and they should be allowed full freedom to blossom. Today I feel that universities must be totally free from the interference of the executive. I do not say that there should be no political activity. Political parties should help the students in creating platforms where they can develop graces of mind and virtues of spirit. Universities should not be used to create the cadre for the political parties who are summoned on the occasion of the public meetings to raise slogans in favor of some leaders or against some leaders. That is not the role of the universities.
So finally, one question also. Last day, Uttarakhand Chief Minister said that if BJP is voted back to power in Uttarakhand, they would implement uniform civil code there. So do you think that in the build-up to 2024 polls, this will gather momentum?
I have already told you, even those who publicly oppose uniform civil code, when they enter upon office, they take oath of the Constitution. They will uphold the Constitution. And what the Constitution says? Constitution makes it obligatory, if not immediately, but at least march towards having a uniform civil code. How uniform civil code can be a subject of contention? The only thing which we will have to ensure is that whenever we frame this law, we will ensure that the law does not ask anybody to do something which is prohibited by his faith. Or law should not stop anybody from doing something which is prescribed by her faith. It's very easy. After all, I ask you, after all, Muslims are living in America or not? They're living in Europe or not? They're living in Turkey or not? They all have uniform civil code. So if that is essential to the practice of religion, then why these people do not give a fatwa that it is not halal for a Muslim to go to America, to live there. Or you can go there only as a tourist. Why don't they give the fatwa?
The Law Commission says that there is no consensus on UCC, and
that is why
are we ready as a society culturally?
That is Law Commission's opinion. I am not saying that. I am merely saying that this host which they are using it as something to frighten the people. This is not right. Because even as member of the assembly, you take the oath that you will uphold the Constitution. When you oppose the constitutional objectives and constitutional goals, you not only violate the constitutional morality, but you are also violating the oath which you have taken.
But in a country like India, is it possible to implement this uniform civil code at a single stroke?
I have already told you. I have already told you there is a uniform code for Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhas. Their identity has been obliterated.
No, but is it possible for at a single stroke?
No, now single stroke is not there because triple divorce is already over. And Supreme Court, while hearing there are only two features which are different from others: triple divorce and polygamy. Triple divorce has gone. One thing is left. Supreme Court has said that we will hear it later. The petition is alive, don't forget. After that, what is left? I'm not talking about Kerala. I'm sure the situation should be similar here. But you come to a wedding in North India. Same songs are sung. Whether it is a Hindu wedding of a Hindu bride and bridegroom or a Muslim bride or bridegroom, same kind of customs, same kind of rituals, almost if you, maybe in Western UP, something may be different. But if you go to Eastern UP, even the food is same. I mean, necessarily non-vegetarian stalls will be there. Vegetarian stalls will be there. Everything in any case. Amir Khusro's songs which were composed by Amir Khusro to be sung at the time of the marriage, they are sung across the communities. Kahe ko biyahi, I do not know whether in South also it is. It has been adopted. Kahe ko biyahi bidesh sun babul mere. Everyone, and right from Pakistan.
Exactly.
Right from Pakistan up to Vindhyachal, every community. They sing the same songs, same customs. How we are different?
Then why is there so much of opposition against Uniform Civil Code? What will you say to the students who are protesting in Karnataka?
To
There's
the
been a
students,
spillover.
to the students, I will come later. Don't mix up with the Uniform Civil Code. But Uniform Civil Code, I will say, at the time of the I don't want to name anybody, but when there was a movement demanding partition of the country, what was being said? Muslim identity will be in danger, Muslim religion will be in danger, Muslim culture will be in danger, Muslim language will be in danger, everything will be in danger. And ultimately what happened? After 30 years, people from you have not been affected by the tragedy of partition.
No.
In northern India, it was not only the partition of the country, the families were partitioned. And it did not take even 30 years for people generally to realize what a blunder we have committed. Even Pakistanis, a country which could not survive even for 25 years, they had partitioned India and they themselves were partitioned after 25 years. The rest of the country, I do not know how long it is going. We want them to last. We do not have any wish to disintegrate them because does not suit us. But I have my doubts. As far as these students are concerned, these are young girls. They must concentrate on their studies. Today, sky is the limit. Last 3 months I have attended 4 convocations. It was such a happy experience. The gold medalists and the award winners, 70% plus were girls. And in the university where I thought the number of girls will be small, veterinary university in Wayanad, you have to deal with animals. I had gone with this impression in my mind that here the number of girl students will be less. I was told they are 73%. And among the gold medalists and the winners of awards, Wayanad was one place where there was only one boy. All medals, all awards were won by girls. And I must also say here, although I do not look at it from that angle, never, but when the names were being announced, the number of Muslim girls was not less than number of girls belonging to other communities. This is not a controversy. I am convinced in my mind. This is a sinister design. This is a conspiracy. They want to push back. If the Muslim girls, they will start losing career prospects. Their interest in education will diminish.
But whose conspiracy?
Whose conspiracy? Whose conspiracy? Those who are saying that it is essential and intrinsic to the practice of Islam. Islam does not say so.
Why do they want it?
They want it. Why they want it? Triple divorce. So answer is there. I have already told you they used to bury young girls. They want to suppress, they want to oppress, they want to dominate over women. And that is why they want their interest, if the career prospects will not be there, interest in education will diminish and they will be forced into the 4 walls of the house.
So are you saying that they are not aware about the choices they are making, or are they
No, they are very well aware. This is their objective.
When you say that it's a conspiracy,
they are not
they pawns?
Conspiracy? Why this is, if not conspiracy, then what it is? Were they not aware in 1986 when they were saying that triple divorce is a divine law? And what they said in 2017? They said that yes, we recognize that this is innovation. We ourselves want to finish it. You don't interfere. We will organize conferences. We will give a call to socially boycott those who resort to triple divorce. Why they took 30 years to realize? Because now situation went out of their control. Now their arguments were not working. It is the same, it is their conspiracy.
Ayodhya used to have, it's an out of context question, Ayodhya used to have a temple and a mosque side by side. They used to live in harmony.
Never. Outside the mosque, one platform was allotted. Platform, there was no building on it. When the dispute more than 200 years back started, then one platform was given to them, not temple and
In Mathura, I believe.
In Mathura, you
Yes,
are saying.
that's-
Yes.
So they
what
lived
is
in
your
harmony.
question?
They lived in harmony. They used to live in
I
harmony.
do not know if we, when you see a mosque and a temple and a church and a synagogue standing side by side in Kerala, it brings very pleasant memories to your mind.
Yes.
Why it brings pleasant memory? Because temple was already there. The Jews came here in the year when when the Solomon's temple was destroyed. These Jews after some time go to the ruler and they say, give us a plot of land, we want to build our place of worship. No, we need a plot of land. He says, for what? For building a place of worship. This big campus, it has only one building for the worship of God. You build by the side of it. Then the Christians come, he says you build by the side. The Muslims come, he says build by the side of it. When you see these four places of worship in Kerala, they bring pleasant memories to your mind.
Yes.
When you go to Tirshur, you come to know that a Hindu Raja had built the mosque. You feel so happy.
Yes.
But in UP, in northern India, they remind you of the times when places of worship were being destroyed. I do not want to go. I can quote so many instances. But the Maulana Ali Mian, who was the president of the Personal Law Board, his own father, which means only about 100 years back, his famous book, which first he wrote in Arabic, then it was translated into Urdu. One whole chapter is devoted, and with a sense of pride, these were the temples which were replaced by mosques. Then what they remind you of? They don't bring any pleasant memory.
No, they don't.
So it is not right to say that
They lived in harmony.
they were living in harmony. Yes, in Kerala, if you say about it, it is true. Not about UP. UP, or not just UP, northern India, they remind you of the times when you were being humiliated, your places of worship were being destroyed. Religion does not ask you to do this. But unfortunately, this was the methodology of the times, that if you want to rule over a people, first you destroy, first you demoralize them. And what is the best instrument to demoralize them? Destroy the places or icons which they invoke for their safety, and then give the argument that these icons cannot save themselves, how they will save you? So please do not compare. Yes, Kerala, if you say, I feel so happy, I am ready to go every day to see these icons.
Yes.
I love them.
So I think we'll wind up, sir.
Thank
you for giving us so much of time and talking in such pleasant terms.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.